Good day and great health. My name is Dr. Jared Kasarka of Ohio Specific Chiropractic. I'm a pediatric, family wellness, and upper cervical specific chiropractor. Today on this video, I'm going to be challenging the status quo when it comes to the topic of immunity or your immune system. Statement number one, the immune system is independent and autonomous. This is in fact false. This is more of a false narrative within more of a empirical or reductionist understanding of the body that kind of states that the immune system is this sort of mindless drone that's going to be doing whatever it wants, whenever it wants, and really doesn't have any input or output with other aspects of the body or the environment. The truth is, the immune system lives in a symbiotic relationship with the body and the environment. It is really dependent and contingent on the factors involved in the body and the environment it finds itself in. This is definitely more of a holistic understanding of the physiological processes of the body. One really important symbiotic relationship within the body is with the immune system and the nerve system. That communication or that relationship is so strong that it's often called by one name. It's called the neuroimmune system. And that communication is going to create really specific effects and causes and effects that are going to occur depending on the situation that the body finds itself in. Statement number two, natural immunity is the same as artificial immunity. This is in fact false. You see, natural immunity and artificial immunity are going to create two separate or different immune responses within the body. Natural immunity is going to create a long-term response, and it's also going to create a Th1 cell-mediated immune response. Artificial immunity is short-term in duration, and it's going to initiate a Th2 humoral response. Now, what's the difference? When we are more naturally exposed to a pathogen, a virus, or a bacteria, and it gets within the cell itself, there's one specific T helper cell called the Th1 cell. T helper cells are a specific type of white blood cell. This specific T helper cell is going to tell the body to create antibodies for that infection, for that pathogen or the bacteria that's affecting the cell. The antibody production in a cell-mediated response is going to produce the antibodies for that pathogen for a long-term duration. More often than not, that production of that antibody is going to last the lifetime of that person. An artificial immunity is going to initiate more of a Th2 humoral response. The Th2 humoral response is also a natural immune response of the body, but it's often only seen in allergic responses. So what happens is when a pathogen or an antigen is found not in the cell but sort of floating around the body, the Th2 T helper cell is going to tell the body to create really a huge spike in antibodies in order to help take care of that infection. But the thing is, it's only going to produce the antibodies for that response for a short term or for a short distance of time. It's going to often will produce a larger spike in antibodies compared to the cell-mediated response, but the thing is that production found in a humoral response is only short-term. It's going to spike and then it's going to drop down. This is often seen in artificial immunity because the greatest example of artificial immunity is found with inoculations or vaccinations. Whenever you get inoculated or you get a vaccine, your body creates an allergic response because it thinks it is an allergic reaction. It's not being exposed to that virus or bacteria through the natural means, so it's going to create a Th2 humoral response. That's why a lot of times within the vaccine schedules, there are what are called booster shots of a certain inoculation or vaccine. That's because they saw that whenever you maybe got a vaccine, the antibody production went up, but then they tested for that antibody in the future, and they saw that the antibody production number had dwindled. So they started adding booster shots to the schedule to then spike the antibody production back up. But even those booster shots are still going to create a Th2 humoral response, which will eventually cause those antibody numbers to drop back down. Statement number 3. Genetics will determine your immune response. This is in fact a false statement. Yes, there are characteristics of our body and of our physiology and our makeup that are part of who we are, and they're going to be with us from womb to tomb. Our immune system and our immune response isn't one of those things, though, that is set in stone. In fact, really about 80% of our immune response is going to be epigenetically influenced, so things that are outside of our genetics. Some of the greatest epigenetic influences are such things as diet, behavior, stress, environment, physical activity, physical fitness. It's these epigenetic influences or factors that are going to turn on or turn off different aspects of our genetics and our immune response. Statement number 4. Infected people are considered sick, while vaccinated people are considered healthy. This again is also a false statement. With a statement like this, we definitely have to take a step back, and we have to really ask ourselves some more broader or bigger questions. What is health? What is sickness? What are our parameters for health and sickness? What are the things that help express health? What are things that help express sickness? If we look to the biggest question, what is health? We have to kind of break down the characteristics or the definitions or the things that are going to be found within health. And within health, some of the biggest factors we'll find are things such as adaptability, dynamic homeostasis, healing, optimal function. These are all things that are expressed through our vitality. And another word for vitality is our life. You see, health comes from within, not from without. There's no magic pill, powder, or potion that's going to create health within the body. Health is only going to come from the individual, from the person. It's only going to come from within. So no matter what the pill, powder, or potion is, it's not going to create health or wellness within your body. Now also too, when we're talking about being infected, you might be expressing symptoms, or you might be considered quote unquote sick, but these are really still expressions of health. The biggest example I can think of is, say you get infected by a certain pathogen. What does your body usually do? It heats up and it creates your body, it causes your body to have a fever. That is really an expression of health. If I was ever, infected by a certain pathogen, I would want my body to express that aspect of health. I would want to have a fever. If I was infected by a certain pathogen and my body didn't create that fever, that would really be more a product of being sick instead of being healthy. Statement number 5. Antibody titer will determine your immunity. This is also a false statement. Yes, we talked about earlier, the production of antibodies is a very important aspect of your immunity and your immune health, but it's only one aspect of the puzzle. It's only one piece of the puzzle. There are a lot of other factors that are going to help stimulate or help promote the immunity or your immune system. Some of the biggest examples of ways to help support your immune system is to look at things such as your gut health or your microbiome, your mental state, your mental emotional state, again, your nutrition, your diet. I feel, as a chiropractor, that one of the biggest pieces is that nerve system. How is your nerve system functioning? Checking how your nerve system health. And how we talked about a little bit earlier, that balance or that indication of Th1 to Th2 T helper cells balances within your body. Is your body creating more cell-mediated immune responses versus humoral immune responses? And again, also, being physically active, physically fit. These are all ways. This has been shown to help boost or stimulate your immune system. I know some of these, some of my statements might be sort of controversial or kind of go against status quo, but hopefully that was the purpose of this video. So if you have any questions or concerns about some of the statements I made, or feel free to challenge my challenge, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on my website at ohiospecific.com. Thank you very much.